Hi everyone, I'm Carolyn and I'm here to offer you today a channeled message from the LightKeepers again. And this one is, I believe, on transformation, and it talks about the transformation journey that we each go through, whether we're going through spiritual awakening or not. And I think it's pretty profound, and I'm going to give you my takeaways on it as well, and some of my experiences, and then as usual, you can think about it for yourself. First of all, though, I want to make a quick note. Down below, you'll see I have a free video that I just created, and it's all about flow, how to establish flow within your body for health and wellness. It's an important component to being able to stay feeling healthy and well, establishing a foundation for that throughout our lives. And this has come from my distance energy healing business across multiple sessions that I've had. So I wanted to combine that all, offer it to you. You can do that down below. So enough of that. And I'm going to get right into it for the channel on transformation from the LightKeepers. And then I'll give you a little bit of my take. So here we go. Transformation is an individual pursuit. We all come into it in our own time, in our own way, and for our own reasons. Although we may not know the reason, the shift can be quick or a lengthy period. Often severe change, trauma, events in this human life bring about a shift of all shifts. The impact can be so great that it splits one wide open to see all you came to be, to experience yourself at the deepest level possible. Whether we be in the state of bliss, a state of misery, a state of gloriousness, our life is one of change, constant change. For if transformation in some way over the course of a lifetime did not occur, what is life worth? Might it be that these changes come about for a purpose brought about for us to experience change and growth, not for us to experience sadness, grief, and trauma, and that we actually misunderstand why we are presented with these struggles, that it is part of the process, but going through the tunnel and coming out at the end is altogether different. Seeing the glory in the transformation journey is of itself a great gift. How, we often ask, how can one become a better soul, a better person, if a mountain of trauma and sadness and the depth of despair must be experienced? But what if what is not what we perceive it to be? Instead, what if what we see is a gift that must be explored and experienced, the mountain in front of you, your friend of experience, of journey, of learning, of deep insight into who you are. Our journey is long, and many experiences to teach us along our way. But so often over the course of these travels, we cannot learn from the joyous, happiest events in our lives. For if we do not have the counterbalance to the joys and happiness, we would not know true joy and happiness, nor would there be any learning. Transformation is individual and unique, filled with tears, filled with laughter, filled with joy, filled with sadness, and moments where you believe you can never go on. But a new day will come, with support all around you, if you just let it in. Reach out for the support, for the transformation will be made easier, and you will begin to shine like the bright star that is in the sky. For this journey, it is all about learning, and here you find yourself in this way. This way is the way of knowing yourself, of others, of life. Over time, the sadness and tears will give way to letting in the light, seeing beauty again, and even experiencing joy in the learning from the angst you have encountered, for it is what brings the joyous moments in your lifetime to new heights. Let your light shine brightly from your difficult experiences. Become the butterfly you were meant to become. So there's your channel, and I just think this one, it really speaks to, and again, this is my take on it, kind of that dark night of the soul part of going through spiritual awakening for those of you going through this. And if you're not, it can be any struggle you've been through, because we're all going through the same thing. Some are just a little more profound than others because we're going through this awakening in a kind of a very obvious way, I would say. And these struggles that we have, and I've had them in spades over the last 2 years, where my partner passed away from glioblastoma brain cancer 2 years ago. And that's when I was, as they say, hit wide open or broken wide open. And that's when I had my dark night of the soul. And yet, as they say, with that horrible trauma that I had, and you can kind of listen to my welcome video or read on my website. There's more information about that part of my journey. But the point is when he passed away, and that month prior, that's when I was split wide open when he was in hospice, and we were needing to tell his family, and realizing I was the only one dealing with this for him, and I fell apart. And I'm a really strong person and handle things so well, but I fell apart. And I knew something was happening to me. Well, when he passed away, that's when I realized that something had shifted and changed. The transformation in me had started. And so what I was been thinking when I read this channel or transcribed it, I thought, wow, these awful times that are so difficult that I would not want to repeat again, they brought out the most amazing, joyous opportunity for me. And within a month, believe it or not, I was feeling joy again. And I could feel it entering myself because I knew he was near me. And I was starting to receive all these gifts of intuitiveness and all the, clairaudience and on and on. But that's what they talk about, is if you don't have the traumas, and you hope you don't have those extreme traumas like this, but we all do. Or even if they're little traumas or difficulties, the counterbalance to that are the joys and wonderful things that happen to us, oftentimes out of those difficult situations. Or those difficult situations allow us to actually see and feel what true joy is. Because if that's all we had, joy and happiness and wonderful things happening, we wouldn't know that it was joy, happiness, and wonderful things happening, if you think about that. So if you know what difficulty is, how do you know? If you don't know what difficulty is, how do you really know what true joy is? And so that's kind of how I'm looking at this. But it's also speaking to this journey of life in general, I believe, is that this is what life is about. And I honestly, had I not gone through this awakening process, I'm not sure I would have this perspective. For those of you going through awakening, the awakening process, as you know, allows you to really look at the things that happen in human life very differently, from a more global, multiple lifetime, learned perspective, and sitting back and understanding that the understanding that I now have of, okay, and not that things don't become still emotional or traumatic, but you process them differently because of the awakening, because this very wide open view of life that you have and why you're here. And so I feel very fortunate that I've gone through the awakening, because now I look at things completely differently that happened to me, from that more global perspective, from that more why I'm here perspective, and that those of you that have delved into the multiple lifetime perspective, and just that whole concept of us being one, and that these journeys we have are lessons for us to have as a collective ultimately, and bring together so that we can become all we can be and become better people and better souls, and ultimately better oneness, or oneness in general. So again, all of us have our struggles during the course of this lifetime, and the counterbalance to that are our joys, and the counterbalance to our joys are our sadnesses. So again, as you reach out for support, whether it be family, friends, or whatnot during your difficult times, oftentimes it can be a struggle to do that. I know during spiritual awakening, but you have your crew in spirit. And I'm going to tell you right now, I've done most of this alone over the last 2 years. And I have called on my angels and my guides, and of course my partner who has passed on. And like I said, I'm very clairaudient, or obviously I wouldn't be channeling, but they're with me all the time. And we all have that access. We all have that ability to call on our angels and talk to our guides and make them a part of our team on this journey to help us with even, our most joyous and happiest events, decisions we need to make, and the very, very difficult things that we have to go through. So I hope I have given you a little bit of taste of what it's been like for me during this transformation journey that we're all on, every single one of us, be it a spiritual awakening journey or not. It's life, and that's what it offers us. And so with that, I'm going to leave you today, and I thank you so much again for joining me in this video, and I'll see you next time. Thank you.